I think Mauricio Rufy is going to do. I think he's basically like when I saw him fight the first time, I thought he was the next coming of Conor McGregor because his stance was just like exactly like Conor McGregor's. Yeah, so I think against Chandler, I think if he can, I think he's basically just sniping like basically what he did to his last opponent. Yeah, I think he's gonna do that to his to yeah basically the way he did it to his last opponent, Rafael Fiziev. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. UFC 326 just wrapped up, and the new BMF Charles Oliveira has been crowned the BMF. Now, I think the BMF title should be only on the feet. I don't think it should be on the ground at all. And if you're going to put it on the ground, then you should have some ground strikes. But yes, we're going to go through the entire UFC 326 fight card, and then obviously some of the new announcements with the UFC 250 Freedom fight card for the White House. I thought that was a little bit underwhelming, just to say the least. But yeah, let's go through the fights first. So obviously, lightweight bout between Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. Wow, I definitely thought Charles was not going to be winning that fight, especially on the feet, and he did really well on the feet, and then the ground. I felt like he could have done a lot more. I felt like he could have at least besides trying the submissions, I thought he could have done some ground and pound. I think even DC and Joe Rogan even alluded to that as well, that he could have done a little bit of the ground and pound and a little bit more with, having Max Holloway on the ground. But overall, for a fight, it was just pretty standard, boring, Hamza Chimaev type of fight. In fact, Hamza, tweeted right after that about the fight. He said something. Let me double check it. He said, "Oh, that was a fight, something like that." That was just yeah, that was an interesting fight. Yeah, even some people are saying, "How good is Ilia Topuria?" Dana White said it new. Luke Rockhold said, "I thought this was the BMF belt." Yeah, yeah, that was an interesting fight. That was a very interesting fight. I Yeah, MMA Guru said I sentenced Charles Oliveira to a rematch with Arman Sarukian for the title shot. No BMF title on the line. It died tonight. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people feel like the yeah. He basically saying. Sorry, I just saw Ilia Topuria saying that who wants to bet on the main fight on the White House. Uh, yeah. So give me your thoughts. What you guys thought about the fight? It was interesting to say the least. Um, Yeah, yeah, interesting fight. I wanted to see some of the other stuff. Yeah, the blue screen. I don't know if you guys had that in the third round of the BMF title fight. I basically had like the first half of that fight, first half of that round. Sorry, I wasn't able to even watch it. It was just a blank screen the entire time. But man, like, yeah, that was a very underwhelming White House card announcement, and that was a very just underwhelming fight. Nate Diaz said boring motherfuckers. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of people saying interesting stuff about that fight. Yeah, okay, a lot of people even had that issue with the third round in there. So yeah, comment down below what you think about Paramount and yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So Kyle Bahal versus RDR. Actually, that was to me this was one of the best fights on the fight card altogether. I think this was one of the most entertaining fights. Kyle Bahal I thought was doing really well on the feet, and then RDR did a little bit better during the second round and even possibly the third round in terms of striking and stuff like that. But for the most part, I thought Kyle Bahal did deserve the win that fight. But yeah, yeah, that was an interesting fight to me. it's interesting because now RDR is gonna have to fight someone else. So I don't know who's gonna be next for him. We'll be doing that. We'll be doing a little summary on this for UFC 326 with Colin. I think on tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow. Him and I will be doing something. But I just wanted to quickly give my reaction. I wasn't a big fan of this fight, Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr. Obviously, I was a big fan coming into it. This one I just thought was super boring. Raul Rosas Jr. taking Rob Font to the ground the entire time for the most part, and Rob Font pretty much just defending himself. And even that with Raul Rosas Jr., I thought he could have done a little bit more ground and pound. But yeah, Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. I did not see that. I did not see that knockout coming at all. I can't believe second round, minute 53 seconds. He just TKOs Michael Johnson. I thought Michael Johnson was doing really, really well, really fast, really super fast. And Drew Dober, I just didn't see him coming out with a win in that fight. And then what a performance by Drew Dober, pulling out that. I mean, the first round he seemed like he wasn't really getting that fight at all, and then second round he came in and just took him out. Okay, this fight, Gregory Rodrigues. I cannot believe his. I mean, basically Bruno Ferreira goes to change his stance, and then Gregory Rodrigues throws his first punch. And if you look at that replay, that looked like he put a lot of power into that, and obviously he did because he knocked him out with that first punch. But that was just like as soon as Bruno Ferreira's head hit the canvas, it was just like you already could see he's out. His eyes were completely out. So yeah, that's it for the main card, which was I thought pretty good. We're gonna go over it with Colin tomorrow a little bit. This was the most frustrating fight to watch. It was a little bit entertaining at times, but overall very frustrating to watch Cody Garbrandt like just not engage with his opponent at all. I don't even know how you say that. Zhao Zhang, Zhao Long. Sorry, my bad. All right, yeah, Zhao Long. I mean, I thought he was doing too much showboating in the entire fight. Every time he'd get hit with something, like Cody Garbrandt, he'd be like, come on, bro, just like stop fucking doing that and throw something. And then you see Cody Garbrandt sees that he gets the 2 points taken away from that fucking that groin kick that he did. He did a groin kick, and I think he did a groin punch in the first one, was it? And then the groin kick. That whole thing was crazy. That whole thing was crazy. That whole 15 minutes of the fight was just I could not believe what I was watching. To be honest with you, and so frustrating just to see Cody Garbrandt on the outside. On the outside, when you know he's like a good striker, and it's funny because he sometimes he goes too close and just goes too much for the fight and too much for the kill. And then sometimes he just does not do enough at all. Like, bro, like choose one or the other, or like find the middle ground between the two. Like he's just either staying completely out or goes completely in. But he can't seem to like. I don't know. That was a frustrating fight to watch altogether. I did want Cody Garbrandt to win, so I'm glad he won. But it kind of feels like that decision was just given to him, to be honest, from the 2 points taken. Um, Dude, Cody Brundage, man. Jesus Christ, bro. You had him in the round one. You could have taken his O away. You could have taken Johnson's O away, honestly. Second round, just didn't do much. Just didn't do much at all. And Dante Johnson, like, his whole like moving and multiple like, I don't know, he was just his face seemed kind of weird. His whole posture seemed kind of weird, if I'm being honest. Um, yeah. I think he goes up against someone good. He's gonna find it hard because against Cody Brundage, I thought he could have at least tried to get him out of the second round or third round. But Cody Brundage, I felt like he could have had that fight. He just like it felt like how Joe Rogan said on the floor. He just kept stalling on his knees, wasn't really fighting the hands, wasn't really doing anything. It was just interesting to watch Cody Brundage and then be like, oh, the MMA fight doesn't love me back or something. Like he wrote on his ex, oh, MMA doesn't love me back. It's like, okay, bro. Well, you didn't really do much to really put yourself out there. Someone also wrote to me on X saying like, yeah, well, he didn't really do much in the yeah, basically saying he needed to finish in round three. So yeah, maybe he did. What? Yeah, he definitely did. But still, like I felt like he could have won that fight, won that third round. To be honest. Anyways, Ricky Tercios versus Albert. What's his name? Montez. Alberto Montez to me reminded me of Ilia Topuria for some reason, just the way his face is, I guess. But yeah, that was an interesting fight. I wanted Ricky Tercios to win. He's from Houston, Texas, and also I watched him on that Ultimate Fighter season, and I really wanted him to win, to be honest with you. And he hasn't fought for a while, but this guy doing his debut, Alberto um, Montez, I thought he was good. He looked really good in that fight. 40 seconds in, you know, getting the submission. I mean, that was a pretty good fight to me. Okay, let's go to the next one. Cody Durden. Cody Durden versus Tumen Dem Burrell. Dude, this guy hit Cody Durden right after the fight was like the round was called twice in the second round and the third round. He went ahead and hit him anyways after the bell was rung. He hit Cody. I can't believe this guy, and yeah, he got the win by decision. But from Mongolia, like, come on, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? There was another fighter on this fight card as well that was doing something kind of odd, I thought, and I just couldn't believe Cody Durden didn't look very good to me, in my opinion. Temin Deborah was doing uh, much better, much better with just the whole ground game and everything. And yeah, this was a very interesting fight to say the least. I thought Cody Durden could have done a little bit more, if I'm being honest, but I don't know. From what I've seen of Cody Durden so far, it looks really that good to me. Okay, Sumo Darji versus Jesus Aguilar. I felt like Sumo Darji should have actually like finished Jesus Aguilar. I thought he was like, I thought he could clearly see that Jesus Aguilar had nothing for him. Like round two, round three, at least could you try to get like the finish? Like, come on, man. Like I don't know. And Jesus Aguilar, I think is a really good fighter. Actually, to be honest with you, I've enjoyed watching him, but I know that height just doesn't help him at all. And the reach and stuff like that. And then Sumadarji, he's been in there for like a while, in that flyweight division and in the UFC for a while. So I just thought he could have done a lot more to make that win more impressive, basically. Yeah, Tobias. Rafael Tobias got uh, Nurgoze. I don't know if I said that right. Dr. I thought he got him pretty well on the feet at that one in that second round, and then I don't know. I think that fight was also kind of up in the air. Rafael Tobias, I thought he was doing pretty well in that second half of round two and round three as well, but just not enough. Just not enough to get the Kazakhstani fighter. I have seen this Kazakhstani fighter before, but I think this was his debut or something. So I'm pretty sure he'll have some better skill sets in this second outing. And then the first fight of the night, Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Blado. That was I thought Luke Fernandez was doing really well up until he got caught. Very well, very well for his debut up until he got caught. And even when Rodolfo Blado did hit him initially, I didn't think he was gonna get the TKO win. I thought he was gonna just. I thought Luke Fernandez would like just wing like make yeah basically like draw it out a little bit longer and eventually get back up and eventually get back into the fight. I didn't see this coming where he just gets taken out completely. But yeah, that's it for this at the moment. Let's go into another portion of this. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing for a second. I want to go into the UFC fight card for the main White House fight card. Now, this to me was completely underwhelming. I, for some reason, just thought I mean, I don't know. Even some of the matchups to me were very, very strange. Very strange. Very, very strange. Let's see. I don't know. I think they hyped it up to all it's supposed to be. I think Ariel Hawani said something about like, um, who's that guy's name? One of those fighters supposed to be on the White House card. John Jones's guy. I can't remember his name at the moment, but let's just go through the fights real quick. So Topuria versus Gaethje. Topuria is on. Yeah, I think this is gonna be his first title defense for the lightweight title versus the interim champion, Gaethje. This is gonna be a very interesting fight. I'm actually pretty happy about this fight, to be honest with you. Although I want to see Gaethje win, obviously, because if it's for the White House, I feel like you want the Americans to win. But this is gonna be a very interesting fight. Justin Gaethje versus Topuria. I think Topuria is gonna get him with a knockout, to be honest with you. And then you have for the interim heavyweight championship title. This is interesting. You know, there's a long time till June. What we got? Where were we in March, April, June? Okay, maybe not, but we still have like a month and a half, and it'd be interesting to say if they turn this up to the regular heavyweight championship fight and strip Aspinall, which I hope they don't, but I don't think they would anyways, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly just do something. I'm gonna open up my browser on this computer so I could just see what's happening on YouTube with the post-fight speeches. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people talking about this. I think Colin and I are going to talk about it tomorrow as well. But it is an interesting matchup. Ciryl Gane versus Alex Pereira. I don't know. I feel like Ciryl Gane might be able to like win this fight for some reason, just because he's so good on the feet, just super good on the feet. Yeah, he's just crazy good on the feet. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna just put this on mute. Yeah, he's just super good on the feet. And just really fast. I feel like he's gonna be able to defensively fight in a way where Pereira won't be able to get to his chin. But if he does get to Pereira's chin, or if Pereira does get to Gane's chin, then then he's gonna knock him out because he's knocked everybody out, and he's very crafty the way he gets to people's chin. But it's just gonna be an interesting fight altogether. Let's just click on this so we can see the whole thing properly. And then yeah, it's just gonna be a very interesting fight. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So I got the UFC press conference, post fight press conference on the other screen that I have. But let's go into the next fight: O'Malley versus Zahabi. That's interesting. I think that's why the other fighter, Cody, no, Corey Sandhagen was basically suggesting O'Malley should take the fight with him, and I think he wanted to do that with him on the White House. I think he ended up taking Zahabi, but I think he kind of knew about that on the backside of everything happening. So it's pretty interesting to see him take the Zahabi fight. And then if you saw the fight thing there, I think who did they have interviewing? You know, not Aiemann Zahabi, but Faraz Zahabi, Aiemann Zahabi's brother slash coach on the broadcast for the UFC, and he seemed pretty happy about it anyway. So obviously he would be, because if he can win that fight, he's made his name. I mean, he's made his name basically like barely winning fights. So this matchup was, I don't know. I think they should have done Connor versus Chandler, or or Chandler versus someone else, not Mauricio Rufy, but someone else. I feel like it's just an interesting matchup of fights that they've chosen. To be honest with you, I think they could have done something different. Let me have a quick look what I think they could have done. I think MMA Guru had some ideas that he put up there, and I thought those were better than at least what these guys had done. These are just like really uncreative matchups in my opinion. I mean, they're not bad, right? But for the White House card, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I was expecting way, way more than this. Um, yeah, yeah. The BMF title, people are saying Helen Yee saying it should have a different rule set. Rule set should be different for the BMF title. I 100% agree. Um, yeah, Gilbert's like everybody can just shut the fuck up, basically. Okay, let's go to MMA Gurus real quick and check out what he put on there and suggested because I think his was way better than what I had saw. Okay, I just got onto a parody account, type it in again. Yeah, so MMA Guru basically thought that Charles Oliveira is going to dominate Max Holloway. Okay, so he's saying I would have done O'Malley versus Sanhagen. Yep, I definitely would have done that as well. Usman versus Morales. That would have been a sick fight, actually. I'm not going to lie. That would have been a sick fight. It would have been interesting to see if Usman can get to his feet. He said instead of Rufi versus Chandler, I would have done Lopez versus Sterling. 100%, I would have. That would have been a way better fight. And Covington versus Wonderboy Thompson. Okay, I think that's a better, way better fights than what they had actually done. Because this one's very interesting to me. So Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins for a middleweight bout. Very, very interesting matchup. And I think Kyle Dawkins is actually really good. But real quick, going back to the Mauricio Rufy versus Chandler, I think Mauricio Rufy is going to do. I think he's basically like when I saw him fight the first time, I thought he was the next coming of Conor McGregor because his stance was just like exactly like Conor McGregor's. Yeah, that karate stance. So I think against Chandler, I think if he can, I think he's basically just sniping like basically what he did to his last opponent. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he's gonna do that to his to yeah, basically the way he did it to his last opponent, Rafael Fiziev. Yeah. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. I'm just kind of blanking out a little bit. Okay, Bo Nickel just did a knockout against Rodolfo Vieira, and then Kyle Dawkins just knocked out someone recently. I think that was the second knockout in a row, so that was an interesting fight. This fight is going to be very fascinating to me. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I feel like Bo Nickal is going to go for the takedown towards Kyle Dawkins. I think Kyle Dawkins is going to basically be it's going to be like something similar to the BMF title fight that we just watched. To be honest with you, and then you got Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia, and this is an interesting matchup because Steve Garcia is the ranked number 9, Diego Lopez is the ranked number 2. So if Steve Garcia actually wins against Lopez, you arguably got um, him ranked as number 2 and Lopez ranked as number 3. And I think someone just called out Lopez recently in the Houston fight card. Who was that? Oh yeah, the Dalmatian. Yeah. He called him out. But yeah, that's an interesting fight, interesting matchup as well. And this is gonna be June 14th on Sunday at the White House. It's funny that they're doing a Sunday too, huh? Interesting. UFC Freedom 250. All right. Well, that's my reaction to tonight. Let me just go ahead and see if there's anything out there happening at the moment. Okay, there's no one really talking at the UFC post fight press conference at the moment. Um, yeah, let me just check real quick. check it on Colin and see if he wants to join me real quick. If not, completely cool as well. Otherwise, we'll see him tomorrow. But yeah, I even had my friend actually messaging me. So his name's Ryan. He's the one actually who got me into the MMA thing. And then midway, he goes, I said, "Are you watching?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I got Max," and then he goes, he goes, he, Jesus, he goes, "How's that working out for you?" And he like laughs. That's hilarious. And my other friends said fights like this are the reason I prefer boxing. Boxing's so whack to me. Yeah, interesting. That was an interesting thing. I'm just messaging Colin right now. Yeah. So tell me what you guys thought about that. If you want to go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you for those of you, by the way, who've actually subscribed recently. I've seen my subscribers grow by 5 this whole week. I posted quite a few videos this week as well. I'm going to contend to do more. I actually did a video yesterday going over like basically the press conference with Tom Aspinall and Eddie Hearn and all the other like multiple interviews they had afterwards. And I spent quite a bit of time going through like finding different interviews with different fighters, talking about fighter pay and stuff like that. I even found one with the one with Sean Strickland talking about fighter pay. I found the one about Johnny Walker talking about fighter pay. I found one with even what's his name? Um, Sorry, give me one second. I'm drawing blanks right now. But yeah, I found a video basically of my mind is just going so blank right now. So blank. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if I can find who I'm talking about. Ben Askren. Ben Askren. Ben Askren did a whole video on fighter pay and broke it down basically why fighter pay is the way it is, and like it was very interesting. Um, Very interesting to see, and it's fascinating. Is just the whole thing with Cody Garbrandt. I just thought like that fight he could have definitely done a lot more, and it's funny because he's done way more in other fights, and then yeah he does get knocked out, but like still at the end of the day, you just feel like there's so much more he left in the tank that he could have done such a better he could have had such a better performance. 'Cause that's the one thing I've noticed with fighters. So like if they do really well outside the cage, then their name becomes big. If they do really good, uh, if they don't do as good outside the cage, but they do really good just in general of like having very good performances, then they're good. Then they're popular fighters in that way. Because, like for example, Sean O'Malley did a little bit of both, right? He did really good performances inside the cage, and he did really good stuff outside the cage as well with his podcast and stuff like that. And he just took it day by day and week by week, and just kept pushing content out there, and then he became very popular. Also, I don't know if you guys saw Smashcast just did the interview with Conor McGregor, where Conor McGregor and Chael Sonnen and what's this guy's name? Uh, Ian Parker. They did like a basically like a three-way with um, poor choice of words. They did a three-way with Conor McGregor, and that happened, and that was interesting to hear Conor what he said and saying that the fight should be at basically heavyweight and stuff like that, or sorry, welterweight, and it should because it started at welterweight, it should have stayed at welterweight. I thought that was pretty interesting, but they brought it down to lightweight just because they had basically Colin's favorite fight. Um, okay, he said he can't do it. Yeah, Colin's favorite fight was the head kick KO from Justin Gaethje to Dustin Poirier, and that was a very interesting matchup. But that's when they brought it back down to 155. with that whole thing. Um, yeah, let's just see real quick what other people thought of it. So Ariel Hawani, I think, put out there something about a video response to the White House card. Let's go ahead and watch his um, reaction to the White House card. You got Luke Thomas. Wow, Smashcast got 102,000 views on that Conor McGregor video interview. Even that, I was actually going to do a little bit of video on that, breaking down what I thought about it. But, okay, no worries. Colin said he can't do it for tomorrow, anyways, so we're all good. Let's go ahead and see. Go ahead and see this. You know, it's funny. So last time I did this, I was like, uh, as I told you from yesterday, it just didn't work. So I'm hoping this time it actually captures the sound. Also share the tab audio. Yes. Okay. I'm hoping we're good on that.
March 7th, UFC 326 is actually happening as I'm recording this right now, but at approximately 10 p.m. Eastern time, our long international nightmare came to an end. Why? Because the UFC finally announced the White House card. They're calling it UFC Freedom 250. Of course, July 4th will be the United States' 250th birthday. Obviously, this event is happening on June 14th, a Sunday night, which just so happens to be the president's birthday. And they finally announced it. And so now we can talk about it. The main event is in fact going to be Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje for the lightweight title. A unification bout, of course. Gaethje won that belt back on January 24th. Ilia is the man. He won that belt in June of last year, and he's coming back to fight in the main event of the White House card. So it's Spain / Georgia versus the United States on June 14th. That's the main event. The co-main event is Alex Pereira moving up to heavyweight to fight Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight title. More on that in a moment. Also on the card, I'm reading this because I don't want to mess it up. Sugar Sean O'Malley against Aiemann Zahabi. So that's the United States versus Canada. By the way, Pereira, Brazil versus France. So there's one fight that doesn't feature an American, although he does live in Connecticut and sort of feels like an adopted American at this point. Michael Chandler does end up on the card. He goes up against Mauricio Hufi, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, America versus America, and Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez. They love Diego Lopez. He's getting this opportunity after just getting a chance to fight for the belt. So in the end, as I told you, 6 fights, 2 title fights. It was not the 7 to 8 title fights as was initially promised. It's a marquee main event. I know that there are some people who are upset. I know that there are some people who are trying to say, like, hey, this is a letdown. This is an incredible 6-fight card. And it was never going to be 7 to 8 title fights. That was never going to happen. That would screw up the rest of their schedule. Ilia Topuria coming back against Justin Gaethje is a massive, massive fight. It is a marquee fight. It is one of the biggest fights of the year. Topuria coming back after everything he's been through, almost exactly a year between fights, is a very big deal. Pereira being on there, moving up to heavyweight, trying to get a belt there, potentially setting up a fight against Tom Aspinall. If he beats Ciryl Gane is a very big deal. If Gane wins, then you've got this huge fight against Aspinall. They didn't strip Tom, which I like. Interim title, I'm okay with. And then the rest of the card, O'Malley versus Zahabi is in a very important fight at 135 pounds. Chandler gets the fight on the White House card, so they screwed him with the Conor McGregor thing, but at least he gets to be on the card, which I like as well. Bo Nickel had to be on there. He's Donald Trump's favorite fighter. Don't tell that to Jorge Masvidal or even Colby Covington. And a fun fight between Steve Garcia and Diego Lopez. I mean, I'd give this a 9 out of 10. Now, this effectively ends the career of one John Jones. And I can tell you, they did talk to John Jones. I told you this before he told us, and then he told us. And I know they spoke, and they just couldn't come to terms. That's what I was told. Now, it wasn't the 30 million, but it was a big number, and they couldn't come to terms. They wanted Pereira versus John Jones. There's no doubt about that. But as I was hearing all week long, there was skepticism that this fight could get done. There was massive skepticism. And I also know that Topuria versus Gaethje happened rather quickly as well. And so my feeling is, and I just want to say, the UFC put the fear of God in every MMA manager out there. Like I'm not really in the fight breaking news business anymore, but I did poke around in the dying days. Once Dana White said that they had to, I wanted to see what was up. I even told guys, like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not trying to break this. I'm just curious. That's the God's honest truth. They put the fear of God in these managers, and they've been doing this for a long time, but never quite like this. So kudos, and everyone kept to their word. Everyone stuck to it. My feeling is they wanted John versus Pereira. They couldn't get that done. And whether that would have been for the vacant title or interim, I don't know. I think it would have been crazy to do it for the vacant. Interim, I'm fine with. It'll just make the return that much bigger. And Tom seems to be turning the corner. So you're getting history, and it's the only fight that doesn't feature an American in it. But I don't think anyone really cares about that. You are staring at a situation, though, where the end of the White House card could be, a European fighter standing over an American, which is a risk. There's no doubt about that. That is a massive risk, and there's a strong likelihood that happens. But Topuria versus Gaethje is a great fight, and it makes all the sense in the world, and it's a very big fight. Pereira moving up, trying to make history is a very big deal. And
Just real quick on the John Jones thing. Yeah, I was expecting John Jones on the fight card. I'm not a big John Jones fan. If I've said that before, you probably already know that. If you haven't watched my last video with Colin, where we break down UFC 326, go ahead and watch that. Just a little bit interesting kind of stuff we put in there. We even debated Max Holloway's pedigree and just resume altogether versus, um, you know, Volkanovski and Khabib. And Colin, I think, thought I was crazy, but um, yeah, I would have liked to see. I feel like I would have liked to see bigger names on the White House fight card, just in general. And I think these fights are interesting, but yeah, let's see. Let's see. I don't think a lot of fans are happy. I think a lot of fans, from what I saw on Twitter and X, were just like they were underwhelmed as well. So I think, yeah, let's go ahead and
he's one of the most beloved fighters in the history of the UFC. Certainly one of the most beloved fighters on the roster right now. Gane coming back, he's got a lot to prove. I think the hope was to do Gane versus Aspinall right away, but that's taken longer, and you need a fight here. So them's the breaks. O'Malley's one of the most popular American, if not the most popular American fighter on the roster right now, going up against Canada's own Aiemann Zahabi, closest I'm going to get to the White House. That's a big time fight. Not that long ago, O'Malley was saying he didn't know who Aiemann was, and now here he is fighting on the White House card. Could you imagine what the hair is going to look like on June 14th? I love the fact that Chandler's on the card. I love that. I hate that he's not getting the McGregor fight, but this is the next best thing. So I love the fact that they at least kept their word in that regard. And him versus Hoofy is a great fight. It's an important fight at 155 pounds as well. Bo was an obvious one. Little surprised we're not seeing Gable Steveson. I know that was discussed.
that's the one I was trying to mention earlier. Gable Steveson. I thought they were gonna have him on the fight card for the White House. Even the fights on the White House card. I think when um when that guy interviewed Dana White, he was saying that there's going to be multiple fights. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights. So I'm gonna put a seventh one on there. Yeah, someone said no John Jones, no Connor, no Max Holloway, no Tom Aspinall. Good card, but definitely not what I would have expected for the event. That's exactly how I felt. As soon as they announced it, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, let's not complain anymore.
But he's not debuting after all on this card. That would have made a lot of sense. And the other one that obviously would have made a ton of sense was Kayla Harrison, but my understanding is just not 100% ready, and that's unfortunate. So certainly not.
That's actually a very good point that Ariel just made, because Kayla Harrison was one that I definitely thought about against Amanda Nunes. Yeah, I think that Ronda Rousey versus the lady she's fighting right now for the MVP fight card. I think that would have been an interesting fight. Now I look at it.
Not what they probably thought they were going to get some 6 or so months ago, but this is what they're getting. And I know people are going to bitch, and I know people are going to
I thought they would have actually had also like Colby Covington or Jorge Masvidal, like Masvidal for sure, Colby, like against like different people like Nate Diaz, not yeah, I guess Masvidal versus Nate Diaz, or like that would have been a cool fight because technically there was a doctor stoppage in that BMF title fight.
Ramon, and they're going to say, we were expecting more, this, that, and the other. I told you Conor was not going to be on this card. He's alluded to this in the last 24 hours or so. July 11th is the date that they want him for. Let's see if they could get that done. But as I told you earlier in the week, there are big fights to be made. And this regime, with those big names that are asking for top dollar, are just having a hard time getting those fights done. And so let's see. My understanding was the numbers being discussed from John's side was akin to what Conor Benn was getting. They've opened up a can of worms here with this Conor Benn situation. And so those top fighters are going to say, wait a second, you're giving that guy that? Don't even talk to me unless I'm in that ballpark. And as a result, it looks like, unless something crazy happens, unless there's another deal to come, that could be the way in which Jon Jones's career ends, because he wanted to be on this card, but obviously he wants to get paid, and I don't blame him. He deserves that and then some. So in the end, we are getting Topuria. They salvage it with that one. Golly, could you imagine if he wasn't on there? That would have been a disaster. But in the end,
Hold on one second. Does Jon Jones really deserve it? Like, come on. Look, I get the beginning of his fight. His fight career was amazing, incredible. Nothing against him on that. But the last 4 or 5 years, it's been shit. Like, hella shit. I came in 2019, watched his fight against the fighter that he fought, and Dominic Reyes, and I thought Dominic Reyes won that fight. And this is my first time watching Jon Jones fight live. Okay, I saw the Ciryl Gane fight. I saw the fight against Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic arguably was not supposed to, like, he hadn't won a fight in like several years, almost half a decade. Um, and arguably lost his last fight too. So like, does Jon Jones really deserve that big of a paycheck? Is he really that big of um a star? I mean, I don't think so.
I like the card very much. It's a solid 6-pack of fights. It's the best 6-pack of fights that we've gotten in quite some time. It's a massive fight at the top. It's an important historic fight in the co-main, and then a bunch of popular American fighters and fights with stakes attached to them sprinkled throughout. We'll see where it's going to air. Will it be CBS, Paramount Plus? Will be a mix. They haven't announced that just yet, but we can now at least talk about a fight card that is happening a little over 3 months away. Let me know in the comments what you think. We're going to talk much more about this on the post show and also on Monday's show, but I wanted to get this out there to inform you all of the news.
Thank you, Ariel, for your information and informing all of us. I appreciate it, genuinely. But yeah, okay, looking at the fight with Ciryl Gane, Alex Pereira, I think basically, I mean, I think I saw a meme on X basically with Alex Pereira having the goggles on, so he doesn't get poked in the eyes by Ciryl Gane. Alex Pereira, having the goggles on, and I don't know if you guys saw MMA Time put this put this video out where it's like Kyle Bahal basically almost looking like he's jerking off because he got hit in the cups by RDR, or hitting the cup. And then you got Corey Sandhagen. Sorry, I keep saying Cody Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen reacts to Sean O'Malley's versus Aiemann Zahabi fight, saying basically, bro, what O'Malley Zahabi is ass. He put peaches there basically. So yeah, I get that. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Anything else you guys have, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. It was interesting watching Ariel Hawani's breakdown. I think there's going to be more coming out anyway, so we'll get into it a little bit more. and find new stuff as well. But for now, this is it. UFC 326 was just a wrap. We got a new BMF and new Charles de Bronx Oliveira. It's funny watching that fight. I was just thinking against Arman Sarukian, like it would be good to actually rematch him against Arman Sarukian and see, number one for the um, title shot next. And then looking at that fight, also I was thinking in my head that what is Conor McGregor thinking? That does he want to match up with Charles Oliveira? Because Charles Oliveira is just gonna take him down like he did to Max Holloway, and Conor McGregor's a striker too, so he's gonna be have to doing that. What's it called? Takedown defense and just grappling stuff. So yeah, training for grappling basically. Let's see. All right, thank you guys. Feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. If you guys want to see anything else, from me, if there's any particular videos that you do like, feel free to write that down in the comments below. Let me know. And thank you for all the love. I genuinely appreciate it. I've been doing this for basically 6 months now, on and off, and I'm trying to get more and more, consistent with it. So yeah, thank you so much.